The knife slipped from my hand and clattered against the marble countertop, slicing through the silence like a confession I wasn't ready to make. Blood welled up from my thumb, but it was nothing compared to the fresh wound in my chest, my mother's voice, sharp as shattered glass, echoing from the living room. If he's bringing that filth into my home, then he's not welcome at all. I froze. The birthday cake half frosted on the counter. Vanilla icing smeared like tears across its perfect layers. The party I'd slaved over for weeks, now a mocking monument to her betrayal. I'd always been the good son, the one who fixed her world when Dad walked out. But that afternoon, as I unpacked the decorations from the car, streamers in her favorite shade of lavender, a playlist of her old Motown records queued on my phone, everything unraveled because of a single photo on my screen. Caleb's arm around my waist. Our smiles caught mid-laugh at last weekend's farmer's market in downtown Austin. She'd seen it. And in that instant, the woman who'd raised me, who'd cheered at my high school graduation and baked apple pies for every Thanksgiving, turned into a stranger who actually laughed, with Aunt Rita on the phone, calling me confused and a phase she'll pray away. I wiped the blood from my thumb with a dish towel, the metallic tang mixing with the sweet scent of sugar and regret. The house in our quiet Oak Hill neighborhood felt like a tomb now, the afternoon sun slanting through the kitchen blinds in accusatory stripes. Mom was in the living room, her voice carrying like smoke signals of disdain, each word a fresh cut. Can you believe it, Rita? My own boy. After all I've done. Planning my 60th like nothing's wrong. Then I see that picture. Some boy pawing at him like he's. God, it's disgusting. And the party's tomorrow. Should I even let him show? I pressed my back against the fridge, sliding down until I sat on the cool tile floor, knees pulled to my chest. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Caleb, probably texting about the playlist tweaks we'd discussed over coffee that morning. Added, ain't no mountain high enough, your mom's gonna love it, he'd said, his green eyes crinkling with that boyish grin that made my stomach flip. Caleb Hayes, the graphic designer I'd met at a queer book club in South Congress 6 months ago, the one who quoted Whitman over late-night tacos and sketched doodles of us as superheroes on napkins. He didn't know yet. No one did, except the photo that had just nuked my world. Flashback to last summer. I'd come out to Mom in whispers, testing the waters after Dad's old prejudices had driven him away a decade ago. I'm gay, Mom. Have been for years. She'd hug me then, tears in her eyes, murmuring about love being love. But that was before Caleb, before the tangible proof of my happiness stared her in the face. Now, it was all unraveling. I scrolled through her texts. His last one a heart emoji next to a selfie of him holding a bouquet of wildflowers for the party vibe. My chest tightened. How do you tell the man you're falling for that your own mother just disinvited you from the celebration you built? The call ended with Mom's forced laugh, brittle as autumn leaves. Yeah, well, family first, right? See you tomorrow. She hung up and padded into the kitchen, her slippers whispering against the floor. I stayed hidden, but she knew I was there. The air thickened with unspoken accusations. Zachary, her voice softened, a performer's pivot. Honey, we need to talk. I didn't move. Talk. What was there to say that hadn't already been carved into my skin? She sighed, heavy with martyrdom, and started rinsing dishes in the sink above me. The water rushed like white noise, drowning her next words. I love you, but this isn't us. Not in Texas. Not in our family. Our family. The one where Uncle Mike cracked jokes about real men at barbecues. Where cousins whispered about those Hollywood types on TV. I'd swallowed it all. Planned this party to bridge the gaps. Catered brisket from Franklin's. A photo booth with props from her nursing school days. Even a custom cake topper of her and Dad dancing at their wedding. By the time I stood, my legs numb, the sun had dipped low, painting the room in bruised purples. "Mom," I said, voice cracking like a teenager's. She turned, sponge dripping in her hand, eyes red-rimmed but resolute. "It's not just the photo. It's everything. The way you've changed since." Him, sneaking around, lying to me. I wasn't lying. The words tasted like ash. "Caleb's important to me. And the party's for you. Not anymore." She set the sponge down, folding her arms like a shield. "I can't have that kind of drama on my birthday. People talking, judging. Aunt Rita's coming with the kids. What would they think? What would they think?" The question hung like a noose. In Austin, where rainbow flags fluttered from porches and 6th Street pulsed with pride parades, you'd think acceptance was the norm. But in our bubble of church potlucks and PDA whispers, it was still 1950s Mayberry with iPhones. I'd grown up queer in the shadows, dating in secret, burying crushes on a soccer captain under layers of straight-A report cards and volunteer shifts at Mom's hospital. Caleb was my first real shot at light, late-night drives to Barton Springs. His hand in mine under starlit skies. Whispers of "I love you" that felt like coming home. But now, so I'm uninvited? I forced the question out, hating how small I sounded. She looked away, toward the window where the neighbors' sprinklers hissed in the dusk. "It's for the best. Zach, think about it. A clean break. Time to sort yourself out. Sort myself out. Like I was a puzzle with missing pieces. Defective." I grabbed my keys from the counter, the cake knife still lying there like an accusation. "Happy birthday, Mom." The door slammed behind me, echoing into the humid Texas night. I drove aimlessly at first, windows down, the radio blasting some country ballad about lost love that hit too close. Then my phone lit up again, Caleb calling. I pulled over on a side street lined with live oaks, their branches clawing at the streetlights. "Hey," I answered, try to steady my breath. "Zach, you sound wrecked. Party stuff goes sideways. Wrecked didn't cover it." I told him everything in a rush, words tumbling like dominoes. The photo, the call with Rita, the band. Silence stretched, then his voice, soft and furious. "Jesus, Zach, that's not love. That's fear. Come over." Now, his apartment in East Austin was a sanctuary, walls splashed with murals he'd painted himself, bookshelves groaning under queer-lit and art supplies. He pulled me into a hug the second I stepped inside, his chin resting on my head, steady as an anchor. "You're not defective," he murmured, echoing thoughts I'd barely admitted to myself. We sank onto his couch, a tangle of limbs and shared silence, his fingers tracing patterns on my arm. For the first time that night, the knot in my chest loosened, just a fraction. But as we talked into the wee hours, planning how I'd crash the party anyway or skip it for a solo hike in the hill country, I couldn't shake the deeper ache. Mom wasn't just rejecting me. She was erasing the son who'd built her world brick by brick. And Caleb? His eyes held a storm I hadn't noticed before, something unspoken, a shadow from his own past. "I've been there," he said quietly, when I asked about his family. "Dad walked out when I came out at 16. Mom tried therapy, then silence. It's why I moved here, to start over." We kissed then, slow and searching, his lips tasting of chamomile tea and promise. It was romantic in its rawness, two broken pieces fitting in the dim glow of his lava lamp. But even as I melted into him, doubt crept in. What if her laughter was just the beginning? What if the family I'd fought to keep fractured beyond repair? The next morning dawned sticky and unrelenting, the kind of Texas heat that pressed down like judgment. I woke on Caleb's couch, his sketch pad open on the coffee table. a half-drawn portrait of me, sleeping, vulnerable, exposed. My phone was a minefield, texts from cousins asking about setup times, a voicemail from Mom that I deleted without listening. Caleb stirred, his hair a wild halo, and pulled me close. "Today's your call. Zach. We face it together, or we burn it down. Burn it down." The words ignited something reckless in me. I dressed in my best button-down. The one Caleb said made my blue eyes pop. And we drove to the house in his beat-up Jeep, top down, wind whipping our resolve into shape. The driveway was already filling, cars from relatives I'd known since diapers, balloons bobbing like false cheer. Music drifted from the backyard. My Girl, The Temptations, a song I'd picked. We parked at the curb, out of sight. My hands shook as I gripped the wrapped gift, a leather-bound photo album of her life. Pages I'd filled with letters from old friends, scans of yellowed Polaroids. "You don't have to do this," Caleb said, his hand on mine. But I did. For the boy who'd hidden for years. For the man I was becoming with him. The backyard gate creaked open under my push. And there she was, Mom in her sundress, laughing with Rita over punch bowls. The cake on the table untouched, pristine except for the topper I'd made. Conversations hushed as I stepped in. Caleb a step behind, his presence like a shield. Eyes turned, curious, then cold. Uncle Mike's beer paused mid-sip. Cousin Jenny's kids froze mid-tag. "Zachary." Mom's smile faltered, then hardened. I thought we agreed. "No." The word barreled out, louder than intended. "You agreed. I planned this. For you." I thrust the album forward, but she didn't take it, her gaze flicking to Caleb like he was a stain. Rita stepped up, voice syrupy. "Sweetie, it's a family thing. Maybe next time, without complications." Complications. The word landed like a slap. Caleb tensed beside me, but I waved him back. This is family. He's part of it now. Laughter bubbled from the cluster of ants, nervous at first, then mean-edged, the kind that hides knives. Mom joined in, a hand over her mouth, eyes not meeting mine. "Oh, Zach." Always the dreamer. The sound gutted me. Not anger, not tears, just that laugh, echoing the phone call I'd overheard. Betrayal in stereo. I dropped the album. It thudded softly, pages splaying like spilled secrets. "Enjoy the party," I choked, turning on my heel. Caleb followed, his arm around my shoulders as we fled, the gate slamming like a full stop. We didn't speak until we hit the highway. Windows down, the city blurring into green hills. "I'm sorry," he said finally, voice thick. "Your mom's a coward." "No." I wiped my face, the wind drying salt tracks. "I'm the one who built illusions. Time to build real." That night, we drove to Lady Bird Lake, spreading a blanket under the Congress Avenue Bridge. Bats wheeled overhead in dusk's purple haze, a natural fireworks show. Caleb unpacked a picnic, leftover brisket sandwiches, cheap wine in plastic cups, the party food I'd prepped, reclaimed. We ate in silence at first, then talked, his sketches of a future in Austin, my dreams of opening a community center for queer youth, inspired by the book club where we'd met. His hand found mine, fingers interlacing like vows unspoken. As stars pricked the sky, he turned to me, eyes reflecting the water's shimmer. "I love you, Zach. Not despite this, because of it. You're brave as hell." The kiss that followed was fire, urgent, affirming. The most romantic surrender I'd known. No grand gestures, just us, two hearts sinking in the Texas dark. But even in that bliss, a shadow lingered, Mom's laugh, the family's turnbacks. How deep did the fracture run? and what secrets hid in Caleb's shadowed past. The ones he glossed over with smiles? Weeks blurred into a fragile normalcy after the party fallout. I crashed at Caleb's more often than not, his apartment becoming our nest, coffee mugs with lipstick traces from his freelance gigs. My nursing textbooks piled beside his drafting table. Mom's text trickled in, "We need to talk, I'm worried," then radio silence when I didn't reply. I threw myself into work at Seton Hospital, night shifts in the ER where blood and chaos drowned personal dramas. Patients came and went, car wrecks, heart attacks, the occasional overdose, but each suture I closed felt like stitching my own wounds. Caleb was my constant, the glue. We'd hike the Barton Creek Greenbelt on weekends, his laughter echoing off limestone cliffs as he raced me to the swimming holes. "Loser buys tacos," he'd yell, splashing water that caught the sun like diamonds. Those moments were pure, his wet hair slicked back, droplets tracing the line of his jaw, our bodies brushing in the current. Romance in the everyday, him surprising me with playlists from my commutes, mixtapes of indie folk that spoke to the ache I carried. But cracks showed. One evening, as rain lashed the windows, we lay tangled in his sheets, post-shift exhaustion making me boneless. "Tell me about your mom," he prompted, tracing the scar on my thumb from that cake knife night. Before all this, I hesitated, the words heavy. She was everything after Dad left. Raised me solo, worked doubles as a nurse, taught me to bake her apple pie, to fix leaky faucets with YouTube. But faith, it's her anchor. Baptist church every Sunday. Prayers for guidance. I swallowed. Coming out was like asking her to choose, me or God. He nodded, shadows playing across his face. "Min chose silence." Dad bolted. Mom sent me to conversion camp, 2 weeks of pray the gay away in some podunk Oklahoma retreat. Lies? Shame. I ran at 18, hitched to Austin, his voice cracked, a rare fissure in his easy charm. Haven't spoken to them since. The vulnerability bonded us deeper, but it unearthed my own buried fears. What if Mom's rejection was permanent? What if Caleb's past ghost clawed back? We pushed it down with distractions, volunteering at the Queer Youth Center I'd, where I led art workshops and he taught digital design. Kids like Jamie, a trans teen with wary eyes, reminded me of my younger self, hiding sketches of boys in lockers. Pray no one found them. Then the invitation arrived. A cream envelope in Mom's looping script. Family reunion. 4th of July. Lake Travis. Please come. Love. Mom. Might get twisted. Caleb read it over my shoulder, brow furrowed. Trap or truce? Both. Probably. I tossed it on the counter, but sleep evaded me that night. Dreams of drowning in lake water. Hands pulling me under, family hands. Familiar and cold. We went anyway. Me in cargo shorts and a faded Longhorns tee. Caleb in his signature linen shirt. Sleeves rolled to show the tattoo on his forearm. A Whitman quote. "I am large. I contain multitudes." The drive north was tense. AC blasting against the humidity. Country radio humming low. "If it sucks, we bail," he said, squeezing my knee. Say the word. Lake Travis glittered under the July sun, a sprawl of blue framed by cedar-dotted hills. The family compound, Uncle Mike's lakeside cabin, rented yearly since Grandpa's day, was alive with chaos. Kids shrieking from inflatable rafts, grills smoking with burgers, coolers sweating condensation. Mom spotted us first, waving from the dock, her smile too bright, like stage makeup over bruises. "Zachary, you made it." She hugged me stiffly, then eyed Caleb. "And friend." "Caleb," he supplied, extending a hand she ignored. "Nice place." The afternoon unfolded in barbed politeness. I helped set up cornhole, laughing at Cousin Ginny's trash talk. But undercurrents pulled. Whispers when Caleb and I shared a beer. Aunt Rita's sidelong glances. So, nursing school's going well. Mom asked over potato salad. Her voice pitched for eavesdroppers. Yeah, yar's intense. But good. I forked a bite, avoiding her eyes. Missed your pie. Though, she softened. Just a flicker. We could bake sometime. Just us. Hope sparked. Fragile as firefly light. Maybe this was the bridge. Caleb mingled gamely, charming Uncle Mike with stories of his mural work downtown. But I saw the strain, his jaw tight when Mike clapped his back too hard, muttering about city boys gone soft. Fireworks cracked at dusk, the sky blooming in reds and golds over the water. We sat on the dock's edge, feet dangling, Caleb's shoulder against mine. This okay? He whispered, our pinkies linking underwater. Better than okay. The booms masked my heartbeat. The casual touch, a rebellion. Mom watched from the porch, her silhouette rigid, but she didn't intervene. Progress? Then it shattered. Jenny's oldest, 15 and all attitude, sidled up post-show, phone in hand. Uncle Zach, saw your Insta. Who's the guy? She meant Caleb. Our farmer's market pic reposted with a heart emoji. Kids were honest. It was a gift and curse. My boyfriend, I said. Chin up. Caleb. Her eyes widened. Then she grinned. Cool. Dad says Austin's full of that. But her voice carried. Heads turning. Uncle Mike snorted into his whiskey. Rita crossed her arms. Mom rose like a storm cloud. Inside. Now, her tone brooked no argument. I followed her into the cabin, Caleb trailing, the screen door slapping shut behind us. The kitchen light buzzed harsh, illuminating the granite counters like an interrogation room. Boyfriend, she spat the word, face flushing. Here, in front of the children, it's 2025. Mom. Not the dark ages. Don't sass me. She paced, hands wringing a dish towel, the same one from the knife night. This reunion's about family. Tradition. Not your experiment. Caleb stepped forward, voice even. With respect. Ma'am, love isn't an experiment. It's just love. Her eyes flashed to him. Venomous. You. Stay out of it. You're the problem, turning my son against his own blood. The room spun. Against his blood? I'd bled for this family. Nights covering her shifts. Dollars scrimped for their vacations. He's not turning me anywhere. This is me. Laughter again. That goddamn laugh. Sharp and disbelieving. Oh, honey. You're confused. That boy. She jabbed a finger at Caleb. He's got that look. The one that breaks homes. Caleb paled, stepping back like she'd struck him. I grabbed her arm. What the hell does that mean? She yanked free, tears spilling now. I called Rita after the party. She knows people, therapists. Said boys like him. They leave wreckage. I won't let you ruin your life. Ruin. The word echoed my fears. I glanced at Caleb, his face a mask, but his eyes wounded, distant. Zach, he said quietly, maybe we should go, but I couldn't. Not yet. Tell me the truth. Mom. The photo, did you laugh because you were hurt? Or because you think I'm a joke? She crumpled against the counter, sobs ragged. I laughed to hide it. Hurt like fire. But God. Zach. What will people say? The church. Your job. Screw what people say. Fury boiled over. Hot and unbidden. I stormed out, the door banging, fireworks fading to echoes. Caleb found me by the lake, skipping stones into the black water, each plunk a punctuation of rage. She doesn't get it, I muttered, arm whipping another flat rock. Thinks you're poison. He picked one up, testing its weight. Maybe I am. The words hung. Heavy. My past. It's not clean. That camp? I ran for more than prayers. Slept around after. Angry. Reckless. Hurt people. Mom found out. That's why the silence. The confession landed like a stone in still water, ripples of doubt. And me, you're different. He skipped his rock. 3 bounces. 4. But if I'm the wedge? No. I pulled him close. The lake lapping at our ankles. We're the bridge. We drove home in the small hours. The Jeep's headlights carving tunnels through the dark. Silence companionable at first, then charged. At a red light in Round Rock. He turned. I love you enough to walk if it heals this. Don't. The light changed. I floored it. Tires humming resolve. But seeds of misunderstanding took root. His past a specter. Her words a poison. Back in Austin, normalcy fractured further. I dove into work, stitching wounds while mine festered. Caleb's gigs picked up, a mural for a coffee shop in Hyde Park. Late nights that left him distant. One evening, I came home to find him on the balcony. Phone pressed to his ear. Voice low. Yeah, I know. But he's good. Ma. Different. His mom? The call he'd sworn off? He hung up quick. Face guilty. Old friend. Wrong number. Lies. Small but sharp. Trust wobbled. Then Mom escalated. A letter in the mail. Pages of scripture on choosing righteousness. Ending with, come home alone. Or don't come at all. I burned it in the sink. Flames licking blue. But the ash clung. The breaking point came mid-August. A sweltering night at the Youth Center's Pride fundraiser. Caleb and I volunteered side by side, hanging banners, serving mocktails to donors. The room buzzed, drag queens lip-syncing gaga, teens painting faces in rainbow swirls. It was electric, affirming, until Rita appeared at the door, uninvited, clutching a casserole like a white flag. Zachary, her smile strained. Your mom sent this. And a message, families forgiving, but boundaries, boundaries. Code for ditch the boyfriend. Caleb overheard, jaw clenching. Tell her thanks, but we're good. Rita's eyes narrowed on him. You think you're helping? I'll look you up. Caleb Hayes. That old friend, the one you left crying in Tulsa? Word travels. The air sucked out. Tulsa, his reckless phase. The wreckage Mom had echoed. Caleb's face drained. Ancient history. Who asked you? Family protects family. She thrust the dish at me. Choose. Zach. I didn't. Not then. But as she left, the crowd cheer felt mocking. Caleb vanished into the back. And when I found him, he was packing a duffel in the green room. She's right. I'm toxic. Been running from it. But you deserve better. Stop. I blocked the door. Heart hammering. That's her poison. Not truth. Isn't it? His eyes. Those green depths. Swirl with storm. I called Mom last week. Testing waters. She asked about you. Said pray for the boy you're leading astray. It hit hard. What if I am? Misunderstanding bloomed. Fed by secrets half spilled. You've never led me anywhere but forward. I cupped his face. Thumbs brushing stubble. Stay. Fight with me. He did. For a breath, kissing me fierce. The room spinning with need and fear. But doubt lingered. A third wheel in our bed. Days later, I found his sketch pad open, a drawing of us on the lake dock. But torn in half. My side pristine. His shadowed and smudged. The romance soured subtly. Arguments over nothing. Silence as thick as humidity. I pulled away to focus on Mom. Late night calls where she'd cry about losing me. Promising therapy if I'd try. Caleb noticed, withdrawing further. Fix your family, he'd say. I'll wait. but waiting bred resentment. One night, post-shift, I came home to emptiness, his key on the counter. Note, space. Love you. C. Betrayal. Sharp as the knife I'd dropped months before. He hadn't left for good, he said in texts, just crashing at a friend's. But the space yawned, filled with my ghosts, Mom's laugh, his hidden calls, the fear we'd both break under the weight. Autumn crept in on brisk winds, turning Austin's live oaks to amber flames. The youth center became my refuge. Workshops filling with kids hungry for stories like mine, tales of hidden loves and hard-won prides. But Caleb's absence hollowed me. His apartment sublet to a barista friend, my things boxed in his closet like relics. Texts dwindled. Miss you to how's work to nothing. I told myself it was healing. Space to confront Mom solo. Lies we tell to sleep. Her olive branch came unexpectedly, a coffee invite at Kirby Lane. Neutral ground amid the breakfast rush of pancakes and migas. She looked smaller there, sundress loose on her frame, stirring cream into black coffee with mechanical swirls. I've been praying, she started, voice soft. A lot. I nodded, fork spearing a bite of hash browns I didn't taste. Me too. Sort of. Her eyes searched mine. Weary. The reunion. I panicked. Rita filled my head with stories. Warnings. But losing you? That's hell. Zach. The admission cracked something. You laughed. Mom. Called him filth. She winced, hand trembling on her mug. Fear talking. Dad's ghost, his rant about sins, the divorce. I thought, if I pushed, you'd snap back, push me away. You mean, bitterness edged my words, but I reined it. Caleb's not Dad. He's kind, steady. Help me see I'm worth more than hiding. She reached across, hesitating before covering my hand. Worth everything. But church says, screw what church says. The diner hushed a beat. I lower my voice. Love's not a sin. It's the point. Tears welled, but she nodded. Therapy. A group for parents. Starts next week. Will you come? Once, I did. The sessions were awkward. Circle of folding chairs in a community center basement. Stories of rainbow flags clashing with family Bibles. Mom fidgeted, sharing haltingly. I see him happy now, but it scares me. What if the world hurts him worse? The facilitator, a soft-spoken lesbian named Carla, guided gently. Fears valid. But loves the bridge. Progress. Inching. We bake pies after. Her kitchen alive with flour dust and old radio tunes. Tell me about him, she said one night. Rolling dough. Caleb. Hesitant words spilled. His sketches. Our hikes. The way he hummed off-key to Motown. She smiled. Tentative. Sounds like a keeper. Invite him over. Hope flickered, but Caleb's silence doused it. I texted, Mom's thawing. Dinner soon. Thoughts danced. Then, good for you. Busy week. Busy. The word stung. Doubts multiplied. Had Rita's digging unearthed more? Was his space code for goodbye? I threw myself into the center, planning a fall art show for the kids. Themes of hidden selves revealed. Jamie, the trans teen, helped with posters, his sketches fierce and vivid. Like you, Uncle Zach, he said. Out and proud. The show night arrived crisp and starlit. The center's courtyard strung with lights. Canvases propped on easels. Donors milled. Sipping cider, drag performers emceed with flair. Mom came, her first queer event, clutching a poinsettia like armor, eyes wide at the joy. This is beautiful, she whispered, watching two women dance slow under the oaks. Pride swelled, mingled with ache. No, Caleb. Then, as the auction kicked off, a piece of Jamie's. A portrait of fractured mirrors mending. I spotted him in the shadows, leaning against a pillar, green eyes locked on me, heart slamming. I wove through the crowd. You came, lame, but true. Couldn't miss it. He stepped in a light, handsome in a wool jacket, stubble shadowing his jaw. Your kid's work? It's fire. Like you, we talked haltingly, his mural deadline. My therapy wins. The air crackled. Unresolved. Mom's here, I said. Wants to meet you. For real. His smile faltered. Zach. We need to talk first. The words chilled. We slipped to the alley behind the center. Gravel crunching underfoot. Distant laughter muffled. That call Rita mentioned, he started, rubbing his neck. Tulsa. Her name was Alex, guy. Actually. We were kids. Angry at the world. I ghosted him after a fight. Left him hanging. He spiraled. Bad. Blamed me for years. Guilt etched his face. Deep. When Rita dug it up, emailed me screenshots. It reopened everything. Made me think I'm still that runner. You're not. I gripped his arms. Urgent. We all have wreckage. Mine's a mom who laughed at my heart. Doesn't make us poison. He searched my eyes. Vulnerable. But space. I took it to protect you. From my mess bleeding into yours. Too late. I pulled him close. Foreheads touching. Breaths mingling in the cool night. We're in it together. Mess and all. The kiss ignited, slow burn to wildfire. His hands framing my face. Mine tangling in his hair. Romantic in its desperation. The alley's brick wall a rough witness to reunion. Fireworks weren't needed. This was ours. Raw and real. Mom met him the next week. Over lasagna at her house. Awkward at first, small talk about weather. His art, but she thawed. Passing the garlic bread with a genuine smile. Carla says forgiveness is practice, she told him. I'm practicing. He nodded. Eyes soft on me. Me too. Winter whispered in. Holidays looming like minefields. Thanksgiving was tentative. Just us three. Turkey brined to perfection. Caleb's pie rivaling Mom's. Laughter came easier. Stories flowing, his Oklahoma roots. Her nursing mishaps. As snow flurried rare and light outside. I caught them in the kitchen. Him showing her a sketch app on his phone. Her chuckling at the filters. My family. Mending. But secrets fester. Caleb's phone buzzed more. Late calls he silenced. Claiming clients. I let it slide. High on the harmony. Until Christmas Eve, when I found the email chain on his open laptop. Left charging while he showered. From Alex_Tulsa87@gmail.com. Subject, still running? Caleb. Rita reached out. Said you're playing house in Austin. Got a new mark. Remember me? The one you wrecked. Thought you changed. But patterns stick. Tell your boy, runners don't stop. Attached, photos old. Blurry, but damning. Caleb younger. Arm around a bruised-eyed guy in a dive bar. Then alone. Hollow. My stomach dropped. Patterns. Wrecked. Was this the shadow? I closed the laptop. Heart pounding. Just as he emerged. Towel around his waist. Steam curling. Zach, you okay? The lies stuck in my throat. Yeah. Just. Reading. Suspicion flickered in his eyes. But he pulled me to bed. Kisses distracting. That night, under twinkling lights from a tree, we made love, tender, reaffirming but doubt-gnawed. Was Alex truth? Or Rita's sabotage? New Year's brought the storm. Mom hosted a small gathering, Rita included. Truce fragile. Caleb arrived late. Wind swept from a gig, but his hug fell off. Distant. Over champagne. Toast rang. Health. Love. New starts. Then Rita cornered me by the punch bowl. Heard from Alex. Her whisper slithered. Caleb's ex. Bad news. Ask him about the night he left him, hospital stay. Blame game. Rage boiled. I confronted him in the guest bath. Door locked. Mirror reflecting our flushed faces. Alex. What's the full story? He deflated, leaning on the sink. Rita's twisting it. We fought, jealousy, booze. I walked, he drank, crashed his car. Woke up in the ER, me at his bedside. But he pushed me away, said I caused it. I believed him. Ran, and now, my voice cracked. Am I to rebound? The fix? No. He cut my face. Desperate. You're the stop. The home. But words rang hollow against the email's bite. Mom knocked. Oblivious. Everything all right? We emerged. Smiles pasted. But the fracture widened. Days later, he confessed to calls. Alex, reaching out post Rita, demanding closure. He wants apology money, therapy bills. I sent some quietly. Didn't want to drag you in. Betrayal stung. Secrets kept to protect, but slicing deeper. You should have trusted me. I know. Tears tracked his cheeks. Afraid you'd see the runner. I see you. But did I? Misunderstanding snowballed. My late shifts became suspicions. His sketches of us now edged with doubt. The climax crashed in February. Valentine's raw and red. I planned romance, a picnic at Mount Bunnell. City lights sprawling below like fallen stars. Wine, chocolates, a locket with our photo inside. He arrived, eyes shadowed, a bottle of his own. Before we eat, he said, voice unsteady. One more truth. Outpoured the rest. Alex's recent spiral. A plea for reconciliation, not romantic, but amends. Caleb had met him, coffee in a neutral cafe, to close the loop. Told him I'm done running. With you. Relief warred with fury. You went alone? After everything. He needed to hear it from me. For me. The argument erupted, words flying like winter hail. You shut me out. Again. To end it. He shouted back. Rare fire. So we could start clean. Clean. The word mocked. I stormed down the trail. City lights blurring through tears. He followed, grabbing my arm at the lot. Zach, wait. A car horn blared. Headlights pinned us. From it tumbled Rita, face twisted. Knew you'd crack. Mom's worried sick. Saw you two fighting from the road. Stalking? The realization hit like ice. You emailed Alex. Stirred this to split us. Her denial faltered. Protecting family. From what? Happiness. Mom's car pulled up then. Her emerging like a ghost. Eyes wide. Taking in the tableau. Zachary? What's happening? The truth avalanche. Rita's meddling. Caleb's secrets. My doubts. Mom listened. Face crumpling. Rita. God. What have I let happen? She turned on her sister. Voice steel. You don't get to play God. Not with my son. Rita sputtered, fleeing to her car. Silence fell. Heavy. Caleb stood apart. Broken. Mom faced him. I'm sorry. For the poison. Caleb. You're welcome. Always. He nodded. Tears silent. But damage lingered. I drove home alone that night. The locket heavy in my pocket. Spring unfurled tentative. Bluebonnets carpeting highways like forgiveness in bloom. The fight at Mount Bunnell marked the nadir. 3 days of stone silence. Caleb at his friends. Me pacing Mom's kitchen. Her apple pie cooling uneaten on the sill. She didn't pry, just brewed tea and shared therapy insights. Carla says betrayal's a teacher. What's it teaching you? Trust, I supposed. And release. I called him on the 4th dawn. Voice raw over the line. Come home. Please. He did. Duffel slung over shoulder. Eyes wary as a stray. We sat on the balcony, coffee steaming, Austin waking below in honks and haze. No more secrets, I said. Full disclosure. Agreed. His hand found mine. Tentative. Alex is blocked. Therapy for me, starting next week. Your mom recommended Carla. Laughter bubbled. Unexpected. She did. Progress wove slow. Mom invited us to Easter brunch, ham-glazed honey sweet. Her church dress swapped for jeans. No Rita, boundaries drawn. Over deviled eggs. She asked Caleb about his murals. Show me some time. He did. A week later, guiding her through his East Side studio. Splattered canvases telling stories of loss and light. She bought a small piece, an abstract heart in blues and golds, for her living room. Reminds me of you too, she said, hugging him awkward but true. Romance rekindled in stolen breaths. Sunrise jogs along the Colorado River. His fingers brushing mine mid-stride. Quiet dinners where he'd sketch me over pasta. Capturing the laugh lines fear had etched. The most romantic? A rainy April afternoon in Zilker Park, under the shelter of a massive pecan tree. Thunder rumbling distant applause. We spread a blanket, shared a thermos of hot cocoa laced with whiskey, bodies pressed close against the chill. I almost lost this, he murmured, lips grazing my temple. Never. I tilted his chin, kissing slow, the world narrowing to rain patter in his sigh. Humanistic in its simplicity, two souls, scarred but stitching, finding grace in the storm. But conflicts lingered, psychological barbs. My ER shifts unearthed triggers, a patient, young and queer, battered by family fists, mirroring my fears. I call Caleb post-shift, voice shaking. He talked me down, but his own therapy unearthed ghosts, nights journaling Alex's blame, confronting the runner within. What if I bolt when it's hard? He'd confess, vulnerable in lamplight. Then we chase, I'd reply, holding him till dawn. Depth built, understanding his flight as armor. Mine is endurance. Mom's group evolved too, her sharing our story, anonymously, earning nods from other parents. Pride's not parade, she said one night. It's quiet choices. The unexpected climax struck in May. Graduation season, painting campus in caps and gowns. Jamie, my trans mentee, invited us to his high school ceremony, first in his family to finish. Scholarship to UT in hand. We sat front row, Mom beside Caleb, her clapping fiercest when he crossed the stage. Post-ceremony, hugs and photos. Jamie beaming. Couldn't without you. Uncle Zach. And Caleb, those design tips? Gold. Pride swelled. But as we posed for a group shot, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Voicemail. Mom's voice. Panicked Zach. Rita's at the house. Brought. People. From church. Said intervention time. Hurry. Ice-flooded veins. We raced across town. Jeep weaving traffic. Dread coiling. The house loomed quiet, but inside, chaos. Rita in the living room, flanked by two pastors in starched collars. Bibles open like weapons. Mom stood defiant by the fireplace, arms crossed. I told them no, she said as we burst in, voice steady. But they won't leave. Rita rose, triumphant. For your soul, sister. And his. She pointed at me. Then Caleb. Living in sin. Enough. Mom shouts stunned. You poisoned my home once. Not again. The pastors droned. Scripture on repentance. Deliverance camps, but Mom countered. Fierce. My son's joy is my blessing. Yours is fear. Out. Rita pleaded. Tears crocodile. Think of the family. Family's here. Mom nodded to us. Them. You? You're toxic. The standoff peaked. Voices rising. until quiet Caleb, spoke. I know you're kind. Camped me once. Prayers and shame. Didn't fix me. Love did. His hand in mine. Unyielding. Let love do its work. Rita faltered. Pastors shuffling. They left murmuring. Door clicking final. Silence settled, broken by Mom's exhale. God, that was something. We collapsed on the couch. Laughter hysterical. Release. Hugs followed, fierce. Familial. No grand redemption, just raw. Human choice. Summer hummed healing. Caleb and I moved into a bungalow in Hyde Park. Porch swing. Garden plot for tomatoes. Mom visited Sundays. Pies in tow. Her wall art his splash of color. Conflicts eased, not erased, therapy check-ins. Honest fights over chores or fears. But depth-rooted, understanding betrayal as teacher, secrets as shed skins. One August Eve, anniversary of the party crash. We returned to the backyard, streamers long gone, but cakes unimagined. Caleb grilled steaks. Mom brought wine. We three under string lights. Toasting to us. Later, as she drove home, he pulled me to the grass. Stars wheeling overhead. From rejection to this, he whispered. Locket from Valentine's glinting on his chest. Worth every scar. I kissed him. World tilting romantic. Fireflies winking approval. Texas breeze carrying Motown faint from a neighbor's radio. No perfect bows, life stayed messy. Controversial, edges sharp. But in the humanism of it, flawed loves, choosing daily, we found grace. Mom called next morning, proud of you. Boys. Always. No laughter, just truth. And in that, redemption, not erasure, but embrace. The runner stayed. The sun returned. We built, unbroken,